So this is the Scottoiler V system. It's an automatic chain lubricator. This one works off the vacuum, and so we're just going to have a quick look and see the contents and what's in there. So that's the V system. This is like the reservoir. Put that there. That's the business card of the people who I bought the oiler from. So let's remove these here. Okay, so we've got some of the oil. We've got plastic tubing, and I think this bit here is the bit that actually goes near the chain and drips the oil onto the chain. We've got obviously a cap to go on the top of that to help fill the reservoir so we don't make a mess. And we've got some various sizes and lengths of cable ties. There's a packet here, isopropanol cleaner, so it's one of those alcohol wipes. There's a lot of sticky pads, bolts, circlips. It looks like a terminal connector. A couple more little tubes, like these little tubes on the end of this, so there must be spares, I would assume. Various screws, and I'm assuming this is the mounting kit for this. It's got some little valves, T-pieces, tubing. I think this is to when you tap into the vacuum pipe on the system. We've got a Scottoiler motorcycle chain sticker, bit of free advertising for Scottoiler. That's if you want to put it on the bike. Now it's got a small tap. I'm not sure, that possibly is a flow regulator. Again, I'm not absolutely sure, but obviously I'll find out when I read the instructions. We've got an operation guide. It just tells you it's supposed to be where to take the vacuum connection, how to set it up and such like. And what have we got here? There's a table of contents, everything that we're supposed to have in there, tools that are required. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, and it's all your fitting and application instructions and suggested ideas of where to go, which part of the chain you should set it up with for lubrication and such like. Okay, so that's the actual content of the Scottoiler, and what we'll have a look at next is where we're going to fit and route it on the bike and then start putting it in place. I think the most important thing is where we locate the reservoir, but we'll look at all of that as we move on. Okay, so I've got everything prepared, ready to fit the Scottoiler. I think I'm going to put the reservoir here. It still gives me room to be able to put the control panel for the camera underneath there, and it also gives me room to get my little pack of cloth and spare ear plugs, soapy cloth and demister, and that will still fit in there, so there's still room for that to go in. Okay, so we've taken off obviously the rear cowl or the rear seat, depending on what you have fitted normally. We've taken off the rider's seat. This is so that the tank can pivot back, and obviously we've taken the two securing bolts for the tank, and that's the two bolts that go in here just by the headstock. Taken those out, we've lifted the tank up, put a stick in underneath to hold the tank up in the air, so you can see it's up in the air, and then I've got this big cloth just in case the stick pops out and the tank falls down. It's to stop anything getting damaged. So if I'm going to fit the reservoir here at that sort of an angle, you can see here, this is the plastic pipe that's going to go to the vacuum pipe up by the air box. So I've already started to route the cable, so I've come out of the back here, the the top of the reservoir. I've looped it around this bar, so it's come underneath down here. I will be fixing it to the subframe somewhere here. I've run it down here. This is the lead for the front camera on the bike. There's an existing clip here. I've fed the pipe through there and the lead for the camera through there. I've then gone under the pivot here where the tank pivots at the back. I've come underneath. This is the lead. This is the lead for the camera, and this is the pipe for the vacuum. So I'm going to route the pipe safely under here. I'll click it onto somewhere here, but allow slack so that the tank can move and it's not going to trap it anywhere. And then we're going to clip into this vacuum pipe, put in the T-piece, and then connect the vacuum pipe. So once I've done all of that, I'll just show the routing and how it's all clipped down and fastened. With regards to the reservoir, what I've done is I've got here, this is sticky back Velcro, so loops and hooks and loops, and what I've done is I've got two small pieces like this. I've got these two small pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach those two pieces, one at one end and one at the other, and then stick it onto the inside of the subframe. But then I'll also put a cable tie through this loop and around the subframe, and also one of these at the front, and that basically the Velcro is to stop it being able to move like this. That will hold it in place so it stays rigid like that, and then obviously the cable ties will stop it coming away completely. I'll also fit the pipe in so that it's running in the space between the sub chassis and the mounting of the reservoir, and then that way I know it's not going to get trapped, but it will still be free and secure. And then yeah, we should be okay. So once I've done all of that, I'll film it again just to show you how everything is. Okay, so we've got everything completed. We've got all the cable ties in and such like. So I want to show you that is roughly the angle that it's out. They recommend that you don't have it perfectly horizontal. It's got to be at least at an angle. The more vertical the better. So you can see there, if I hold the camera square to the bike, you can see that it is at a downward angle. Okay, so it's fitted in there. You can see here, as I said, I've got two small parts of the Velcro, one there, one there. That stops this twisting motion, so it's not going to move because of that, because it might have slid on the cable ties, but with the Velcro there, that's holding it and stopping that there. And then obviously I've got the two cable ties here holding the whole thing securely, so it's not going to move anywhere from there. The vacuum pipe runs here, it goes around over this side, and as I said, I've put it in between and underneath the cable ties, but it's not trapped. It comes all the way down here, it runs down, there's a cable tied there, you can see, and it runs there along with the battery, the camera cable, runs through this already existing cable tie. I've run it into there, and then I've gone under the pivot here at the back that the tank pivots on. I brought it down here, you can see it here. I wanted it loose so that if the tank's going up and down, it'll allow it to move, but it's not going to drop onto the engine or anything hot. I've kept all the length of the cable, or the pipe, in case I wanted to move it at some other point and I didn't want to make it too short. It runs underneath the tank. Let's go around to this side. It runs underneath the tank, and you can see here, this is where I've cut the vacuum pipe, put in the T-piece, and then the vacuum pipe connects into there. Okay, so also then from the bottom of the pipe very difficult to see now because it's bright and sunny, but the bottom of the pipe here, you can just see the pipe there. The pipe runs under the seat, it comes across the top here, and then it runs alongside the sub chassis. It comes under and down here, you can just see the pipe there. Okay, so I've got it attached up here. I might put another cable clip there. There's a cable tie there to hold it onto the chassis. It runs down, along, and then it comes underneath, and this bracket here, I've basically removed the bobbin and then fixed it to there, and then the pipe runs just to that inside track here, so that when the oil comes onto this, it will get thrown out towards the chain. So to prime it, when we put it on, this piece wasn't in. I mean, I can just pull this out if I have to. So you basically use the oil, you feed it and fill up the bottle as much as you can in that hole that you can see there. Once you've done that, you put this rubber piece into there, and then I pull this cap out around here. I remove that cap, and then the same attachment on the bottle plugs into the top of that cap, and then basically you start slowly squeezing it. Now, as I was squeezing it, it was filling the bottle, but I didn't see it filling the pipe. So I turned the bike on and just had it idling to create the vacuum, and I turned the flow, this flow regulator here, I turned that on pretty much to full, and then kept squeezing, and then basically I started to see the pipe fill, and we've traced it and followed it and we watched it, and it all came down. I don't know if you can see it now, but it's got like a blue sort of tinge to it. That's the blue oil that's in it, and we did that until the oil came to here. Once that was done, I put the cap back on, put it back in place like that, out of sight. I've turned the regulator pretty much all the way down to minimum, because I've got to test and see how much oil comes out of it, and I don't want it to turn right up and get oil all over the bike. And as I keep riding, I'll just see what the chain looks like, and as soon as I'm happy with the amount of lubrication it's getting, I'll leave it at that setting. So that is pretty much it. Just need to go out and have a ride now, see what happens. Okay, so after the first run, I found that I had two issues. They're not serious, but they just needed sorting out. Now, the first one was that during the run, the reservoir actually came detached from the housing and fell backwards. Now, it's not a big problem, and all I really need to do is just like put a Velcro strap around the reservoir to hold it in place. And it's better with a Velcro strap because I can undo that and take it in and out as and when I need to, and then just fasten it back up without having to cut cable ties all the time. The second issue was, if you have a look here in this image that I've taken from the previous section of the video, you can see that the rim of the wheel is clean. Now, this was after I fitted the Scottoiler, but before I actually went on the first run. Now here you can see that the oil is clearly in the small groove of the sprocket, and you can see that the oil is also, you can see the oil there where the chain meets the sprocket. Now that obviously means that the oil is actually lubricating. But here you can see in this picture that the oil is splashing onto the wheel rim. Now, I only did about 120 miles, but this is too much oil, even for that short period of time. I was going fast in some places, so the oil is obviously getting thrown around. And I don't want to get this on the edge of the tyre. So basically, I just need to use the flow control here and just find the right setting. It's all just a question of trial and error. And if you do fit one of these Scottoilers, it's going to be the same for you. It's just going to be trial and error. So I would suggest that you always have it turned down to the lowest setting and turn it up if you think it needs more, or turn it down if you think obviously there's too much coming out. But apart from that, everything's fine and it all seems to work correctly.